Just enjoying some coffee here on this spicy day in Brisbane. 2017 was a very console-centric year. We had the Xbox One X that released and the Nintendo Switch. It's so humid here that I can't even click my fingers. Welcome to Brisbane. 2018 was great because it was all about the games. It feels like the console manufacturers kind of chilled out a bit. So a couple honorable mentions for my favorite games of 2018. First of all, Celeste. 100% one of my favorite examples of a game that manages to weave its story into the gameplay exceptionally well and talks about mental health in a way that I think is really sensitive, respectful, and also kind of profound for video games. It's also a great platformer, so best of both worlds. Second honorable mention would have to be Dragon Ball Fighter Z, or Fighter Z if you prefer Australian English.
Let's hurry up and get this started.
This could be fun.
I'll play with you.
That game, holy moly, so tight, so heckin' tight. I haven't played a Dragon Ball fighting game that was that tight since probably ever. I was a big fan of the Budokai games. I didn't mind the Budokai Tenkaichi games. That perspective shift to like a third-person camera in a 3D fighting scape was pretty cool. But holy moly, Arc Systems is really, really good at nailing a fighter that captures the essence of what made the anime so fun to watch. And they did this really interestingly with the way that they made the actual game run at a smooth frame rate, but keyframed the character animations in a way that felt like it was running at that anime frame rate and made it feel like you were actually playing a fight from the anime. Last honorable mention before we get to the big one has to be Mario Tennis Aces on Nintendo Switch. I know it's a bit of a strange pick, but I enjoyed this game because I just really like tennis. I'm not big on sports, but when Mario Tennis came out on the Game Boy Advance back in the day, that game actually got me into tennis by virtue of helping me understand the way the scoring system in tennis works. So for that reason, I'm kind of thankful for Mario Tennis, not only for being a fun game, but also educating me. The Switch version of Mario Tennis I enjoyed in particular because Nintendo realized with this iteration that it needed to bring back a single-player story mode of some sort. It did that in a way that didn't have any RPG fluff. It was a really tight, constructed story mode light. You know, it played in a way that you were able to jump in and jump out, and there was some witty Nintendo writing. You know, Treehouse once again smashes it out of the park with some good translation. So that made it fun. On the other side of the fence, really strong competitive gameplay in this one. In this game, you had the introduction of the ace shot and other new mechanics, which basically meant that it was all about the skill. I mean, the game's pack shot says, you know, it's a Mario Tennis game where skill essentially allows you to win. They've made no qualms about that. This was a game that I actually got excited about to play in like a competitive multiplayer scenario, which is something I didn't expect from a Nintendo title. So God of War is my pick for Game of the Year, and for good bloody reason. Sony Santa Monica Studios has absolutely smashed it out of the park with God of War. This was a reboot that doesn't really need to be a reboot. It fully continues the story of all of the God of War games that have preceded it, but does it in a way that is both faithful to the original trilogy, but does it better. When you throw that axe and then you press that triangle button and it returns to your hand, there is some real weight behind that, and you feel that in the force feedback of the controller, but also in the way that Kratos is animated. And this is a masterclass in gameplay and animation and storytelling that just completely blew me away. It's clear that the developers have been given as much money and as much time as they need to complete this game and make it as good as it possibly can be, and it shows. It's a tight, narrative-driven, but also gameplay-driven adventure that feels completely interweaved. It makes you want to keep playing. And that's exactly what God of War did for me. Kept me playing till the very end. So I'm really looking forward to the next game in the God of War series, and I really hope that the same team gets to do it because it's clear that they've got plans for another trilogy and beyond. So those are my games of the year. Really, really strong year for gaming. The fact that I haven't even checked out Red Dead Redemption 2 or Spider-Man or even finished Pokemon goes to show that this has been an amazing year for playing games, and I can't wait to see what 2019 holds. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it. Don't forget to share it if you want to show other people that you liked it. And don't forget to subscribe for more awesome content from New Game Plus.